Yo, what's going on, everybody? Owen Gill here. Another big post from High Temp Sports. So yesterday I posted and put a little something out there talking about college athletes getting paid, and got a lot of response. I got comments. I had people private messaging me, all kinds of stuff as far as both sides of the argument. There's people that feel. Real quick, before I get into the next topic, strongly about amateurism versus, the benefits you receive in college and all that kind of stuff, which I get and I understand. I'm not discounting it, anything like that. But I want to kind of get into a kind of a follow-up of that because today everything's kind of been talking about some of the things surrounded with college basketball and paying. Charles Barkley talked last night about the fact that these guys, it's about playing basketball. It's not just about making money. And when does it all become about money? And what I'll say is this. Here's my question. How do we fix college basketball? College basketball used to be a big ticket item that people would put their schedules around to watch, like we do with college football, pro football, and the NBA and some other big sports. But it's lost a little bit of its staying power, and a lot of it's because most of the talent doesn't stick around very long. And, I kind of think more like, all right, so how do we fix this? Because we've got the one and done rule that's going on with college basketball. And it's a problem because these guys really legitimately only have to go to class for a semester. And they could flunk out in the spring and it doesn't really matter because they know they're leaving anyways. So what's the incentive to stay? Well, there's two things I say that, in my opinion, would fix the problem with college basketball. One, and it's kind of a question too, is do we follow the same structure of college football? With the NFL, you have to be 3 years removed from high school before you're eligible to go into the NFL draft. And, that's been a big battle with the NBA and the Players Association about enforcing any kind of rule. Well, today they just came out and said that now they're talking about taking it back to 18. And this is where I kind of go back into how do we get these guys to stay in college? I think the biggest problem that we're seeing is before there was like a lot of guys that were going pro right out of high school. And we saw guys like Michael Jordan, Barkley, Shaquille O'Neal, David Robinson, all the greats. They stayed 3 or 4 years in college and they kind of developed their game and then they went pro. We don't see we didn't see a lot of the LeBron James, Kobe Bryant guys that went straight from high school, and Kevin Garnett went straight from high school to the pros and actually were successful. And probably a big part of that is because when you get in the NBA, you're like supposed to be there you're supposed to be ready to go. And these guys aren't. But hey, I mean, if you had the choice of go to college or go to the NBA and sign these multi-million-dollar contracts, what would you do? And, I think, we have to remember that. And what's the incentive? So my thing is this. I say they push the rule to be like 3 years removed from high school before they go to the NBA. And then the next thing that I got yesterday was how do we make it fair for these smaller colleges versus the bigger colleges to be able to compete when it comes to recruiting these guys to come to college. Well, if you got the 3-year rule in place, here's the deal. There's a load of talent out there. They're not all going to be able to go to Duke. They're not all going to be able to go to, and they're not all going to be able to go to North Carolina, Kansas, all the big, the blue bloods, Kentucky, when it comes to, the elite of college basketball. And I know that this would obviously go over to football as well, which, I think, there's stuff there too. But, how do you make it fair? Well, the reality is this: there's a small percentage of these guys that when they go into college could legitimately make big time money if they had the ability to go pro. That's why I say you incentivize them with letting sponsors compensate them to go and play college sports. I don't see what the problem is. We can allow somebody to go to one of these upscale, Ivy League colleges or these NBA programs, and they're getting a full ride just like college athletes are, but it's academics. There's no restrictions on them making money. So what is the difference between, I don't think the colleges should be paying these guys because, yeah, it's going to be tough for, UAB versus Alabama to be able to pay somebody to get them to come to their college. So no, I don't think that's the incentive. What I do think is this: if you create a brand, which is what these guys are, then if Nike or Under Armour or some company wants to give them money to because of their brand, why are we holding them back? I think if you did that, these guys would stay in college, especially with a rule that would kind of make them have to develop and get a little bit and become, a professional before they go into the NBA or NFL or any other sport that this rule would apply to. So I that's what I say. I post the question to you guys, and I love the responses. Hey, right now I'm going live through my personal page, Owen Gill. Starting in about a week, as I start getting the following to come up on High Temp Sports, I'm going to be going live a lot through there. So, hey guys, like this, share this, get people to follow, get people to like my page. And I'm going to be looking to do these live videos every day, big topics, just stuff out there. Not everybody agrees, but that's the whole point of High Temp Sports, is to get the fans to come up with some good, well thought responses to the big deals, because it's not just the Stephen A. Smiths and the Colin Cowherds that have some intelligence about what's going on in the world of sports. It's guys like me and you that are watching that have just as much knowledge. So I'm signing out. I'll be posting this weekend. You guys have a great night. Awesome Friday.